American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
And happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring our videos. So let's jump right into our weather headlines. We do have a chance to see some severe weather later on this afternoon and evening, and we'll check out exactly where those areas are. And then as we get into tomorrow, it should be a quiet day, but we could possibly see a chance for severe weather on Friday. So we'll take a look at that as well. And then we will look at Denver, the DFW area, as well as here in Oklahoma City for tomorrow's roofing forecast. But before we get into what's going on in the weather world, we do have some events coming up. The first one is the 2022 hail forecast. Woo! It's that time of the year, you guys. It's going to be at the SRC Summit down in Texas on Sunday, the 23rd. So it's coming up in just a few days. Derek will be presenting the hail forecast from 10:30 to 11:15 a.m. on the main stage. So if you're going to SRC, make sure you check out Derek's session on what we are thinking for this year in terms of the hail forecast. Then we have the International Roofing Expo in a few weeks down in New Orleans from February 1st to the 3rd. We will be there. Our booth is at 837. So if you're already clients of ours, come on by and say hi to the crew. And if you want to learn more about Hail Trace, you're not clients of ours yet, but you want to learn more about us, come on by and we will give you as much information as you need. Then lastly, we have the, I gotta do it, Highway to Hail tour. That is beginning in a few weeks as well. We have a few cities lined up here. Stay tuned to our Facebook page for more updates on that. The text is really kind of small for me to see. I believe the first one is on February 10th in Oklahoma City. And then we'll be hitting Dallas. And then after that, we'll be going to Denver, Chicago, Nashville, and then close it out in Orlando. So again, stay tuned for our Facebook page for more information about those. So let's check out our current conditions across the lower 48. We do have a low pressure system in Canada, as well as a warm front, and then you can see this cold front is trailing all the way down to the southern part of the U.S. That's bringing some wet weather here in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, as well as some mixed precipitation and some snow across parts of Missouri and Illinois. Yes, I know my states. And then there's a low pressure system. This is the one that we're going to be watching later on for severe weather. So first let's check into the northeast. Zoom on in here. Some heavier snow is occurring here in Maine down into Vermont and New Hampshire. That's going to continue to move on to the east as this low pressure does so as well. And then moving into our risk area for this afternoon and evening, this cold front is going to continue to drag on to the east as well as this weak low pressure system. Again, this is where we're going to be watching for the chances of severe weather this afternoon and evening. You can see some clearing right now ahead of this system, so that will be getting that warmth and instability going for those storms to develop around 4 p.m. or so. And taking a look at our temperatures across the U.S., very cold in the north. We do have a high pressure that is taking control in the northern part of the U.S. That's why it is so cold right now. It's only 4 in Minneapolis at the moment. A bit warmer though as you get near that front, 36 in Fort Wayne. Behind the front, Kansas City at 22. And it's a lot warmer as you get ahead of this system in the 50s from Dallas to Atlanta. Warm spot, no surprise, Miami, you are at 74. So again, we do have that warmth in place here in the southern part of the U.S. And I am mistaken, it's 80 in Houston. So you guys are the warm spot. Taking a look at our dew points, very dry. We only have an 8 degree below zero reading for a dew point in Minneapolis. Not much better across most of the U.S. However, as we get near that system that we're talking about for the potential of severe weather in a few hours, we do have some better readings, although still not very impressive. A 54 degree dew point in New Orleans, but we do have some moisture and it should be enough to fire at least some marginally severe weather this afternoon and evening. Taking a look at our watches and warnings, you can see there are a lot of light blues and some light purples here. These are wind chill advisories as well as warnings. It's going to continue to be really cold for the next day or two. That's why these are out. And then we have some winter weather advisories for that snow that's falling currently, and even some in the Denver area. That's good news. It's been really dry out there. And then we do have a few areas of winter storm watches. So these are quite interesting. The Carolinas, you can possibly see some more wintry weather as we get into this weekend. And this southern Texas one will be in the next day or two as well. So zooming on in for those wind chill advisories, Montana into North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, all the way into Minnesota, Wisconsin, southward into most of Iowa and northern Missouri. Again, it's going to be really cold. Make sure you bundle up as you go outside. And then, again, just some scattered winter weather advisories. And lastly, this is really interesting. Whenever we see winter weather possible in Texas, this will be going on starting tomorrow. So take some caution if you have to go out and get any errands done. So let's take a look at our future jet stream. We do have a little bit of a dip here as we look into the upper levels. This is what's going to be fueling that severe weather this afternoon and evening. Cold in the north, warm as you get south of that jet stream. And then as we get into tomorrow, this system will slowly move on to the east, and just a few shots of cold air here, bringing some snow with it in the northern part of the U.S. And then as we get into our weekend, cold air continues to dominate in the north. We got to keep an eye on the Carolinas for more wintry weather. They just got hit last weekend. They most likely will be getting hit again this coming weekend. So go to the store if you can and get what you need, because this weekend it looks like it's going to be a mess. So taking a look at our future surface and precipitation, there's a low in Canada bringing some of that snow to Maine, and here is our severe weather system that we'll be watching for today as well as not tomorrow, but possibly Friday. We'll take a look at in just a second. That cold front will continue to the east and take all that precipitation with it, and you can see as we get into Friday, that trailing cold front may tap into some moisture on Friday and bring some possibly severe weather, marginal, but still possible here in Florida. And you can see that mess here once again in the Carolinas as we get into Friday and into Saturday, and another shot of snow here in the north. So this is this afternoon's feature radar. This is again one model, one run of this particular model. So this just gives us an idea of what the storm mode is going to be like and a time frame. So just a few scattered showers right now, but as we get into later on this afternoon, so this is at 4 p.m. Central Time, you can see that we are expecting some more robust thunderstorm activity to develop ahead of that cold front and with that low pressure system. So the strongest activity looks to be in southern Arkansas down into Louisiana and eastern Texas, Houston, as well as Shreveport. We're going to be keeping an eye on you guys especially. And then as we get into 6 p.m., you can see this activity is already starting to form more into a line, and will more do so as we get into 8 p.m. Should be more of a linear threat by the time we get to Jackson, Mississippi, northeastward to Tennessee, and getting into the overnight hours, this line will continue to move on to the east and start to weaken as we get into the overnight hours as we lose that daytime heating and the instability. However, some stronger storms are still possible, maybe not severe, but you can still get some storms south of Jackson, around the Birmingham area, all the way into south central Louisiana by midnight. And then getting into the overnight hours, you can see it starts to die off pretty quickly as we lose that energy. And speaking of energy, here is our forecasted CAPE. We do have some instability coming up right now from Houston northward into eastern Texas, parts of Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and then we go into later on in the afternoon. You can see those values are already starting to fall, and then they really start to drop as we lose that daylight, and as we get to midnight, very little instability. So we'll see how long these storms continue to keep up their strength as we are expecting them to die overnight. But hey, you never know, right? So in terms of our hail forecast for today, up to $half size hail is possible from areas such as Shreveport down south to Houston. I do think if we can get some storms to stay isolated, we can get up to $half size, but we have to see how long those storms do stay discrete, as we're expecting those storms to become more upscale and turn more linear. So cross your fingers if you're in these areas. And then in terms of wind, the same areas are expected to get up to 60, maybe 70 mile per hour wind gusts at the strongest, as well as a little bit further to the east as the storm mode turns more into a linear mode. So again, up to 70 mile per hour gusts for Shreveport, Houston, maybe Alexandria. I think you have a pretty good chance as well for severe winds, and maybe as far east as Jackson, Mississippi. Now getting into tomorrow, we're not expecting anything in terms of severe weather. There's just not going to be that instability needed. But as we get into Friday, with that the cold front trailing here in Florida, we could get that front to tap into some moisture, and we could see some storms on Friday. So stay tuned if you're from or in the Tampa area, as well as Orlando down south to Miami. So I believe next, if we can get into the roofing forecast, there we go. This is for tomorrow in Denver. It's going to be a bit chilly, although it should be a really nice day. I don't know if it's going to be warm enough for you guys to roof, but at least it will be dry. Temperatures will be getting up to around 43 by 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And then jumping into Dallas, Texas, temperatures once again a little bit on the cool side. Temperatures will be around 37 by 3 p.m. and cool down to 35 by 6. And then getting into Oklahoma City, closing it out here. Really cold. I don't think you guys are going to be able to get on any roofs tomorrow. Unfortunately, temperatures are going to not even reach 30 degrees by 3 p.m., although we should stay dry. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, there is a chance for severe weather today, so you don't want to miss anything that may occur. And then if you have any questions, concerns, or just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hilltrace.com and check out our website at www.hilltrace.com, where we have more information about us, our products. And yeah, just reach out, you guys, if you need any help. We are here to help you. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday.